Should women train like women or should women train like men? This is the podcast that is going to answer that question in ways that you would never expect. And I'm going to start off by saying, I train like a man.
Congratulations.
I don't want to be congratulated.
Now tell us, what is training like a man for you?
I'm going to be talking about gender perceptions around training, not inherent training like a man versus training like a woman. Training like a man is training for strengths, pushing yourself, having high expectations of yourself, pushing through hardship, not expecting the bare minimum, discipline, consistency, and sticking with the same boring, difficult things to get results.
Yeah, I agree. Training like a man means, regardless of the gender, doing the things that you want to do, regardless of your emotion.
Yeah, so I feel like women are underrepresented in the fitness industry. I think we are misrepresented. I think we're lied to about what we are capable of achieving. I think we're capable of having a much higher benchmark, which is why I would rather rewrite how women train and be part of that narrative. Because what I want to say is that women are capable of the things that you just said. We're often told that we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So training like a woman, what's training like a woman?
Training like a woman is when you feel emotional and down, just going light, going with the movement and not pushing through. And I think, this is training like a woman. You're training based on how you feel. This is the social norm.
That's the social norm. And I think this sets women up for failure. So there's this thing on social media, which is any movement is good movement. But they only ever use that when they're talking about women. And I often dispel this concept in a lot of my content because any movement is not necessarily good movement.
Correct.
You know, if you are saying that women are fine with giving in to their emotions, you know, I am as emotional as the next woman. I'm very, very emotional. I cry through my workouts.
I can confirm she does.
I cry before my workout. I cry during my workout. I cry after my workout. I have depressive episodes. I have low mood. And there are times when I don't want to go to the gym and I don't because of emotions. However, I do feel that if this is the norm rather than the exception, I just feel like women are just being let down and they're being told that it's okay because you're a girl and that's fine.
Yeah, setting lower standards for women is not caring a woman. It's underestimating what woman is capable of. Expecting less from women is not a good thing. Women can do the things that require for them to achieve their goal.
Absolutely.
And even when you said, yes, you don't go to the gym sometimes because of your mood and stuff, but whenever you go to the gym, regardless of your mood, you do the things that you need to do to achieve the goal.
And I also make up for whatever was missed. I'll just train twice as hard on the next time or not have that rest day. But you know what? Apart from emotions and things like that, what I really want to talk about today is the actual meat of what training looks like for women, what training looks like for men. Is it different? How is it different? And should it be different? And I want to go piece by piece. Aside from like skipping workouts, having low expectations, what women are expected to do, what women are conditioned to do, and why that's unfair. And I'm going to start off with glute-focused workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So this is women, female training, right? You want to go to the gym to build glutes. You want juicy glutes, build your glutes. Women are sold glute workouts. Why are women sold glute workouts more than men? It's because they are expected to attain a body type that is favored by men. It's got nothing to do with women. Yes, you need strong glutes to be functional, but so do men. So does everyone. Women often will be sold or advertised more glute-focused workouts, which I think is a disservice to how women train because you need, like, strength is about balance.
I think there's a different proportion for women and men. For men, it's chest day. Every day is chest day. Every day is arm day. For women, glute is under more spotlight. But when it comes to training in a way where you only train chest or where you only train glute, that's where the problem starts. I think it's perfectly fine to focus on a certain body part based on the aesthetic or the strength that you want to achieve.
Well, I don't. I really don't.
Because you want to be strong overall. And women should be strong overall because
Well, so they should. You're not going to get anywhere if all you do is go to the gym and do glute kickbacks.
that's correct. Most women want to do pull-ups and push-ups, but they don't do upper body. They just only do glutes.
Exactly.
So that's the conflict between, oh, I want to chase the social norms, and also I want to chase my dreams.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So training glutes, doing leg days, etc., is all like social norms, and these are norms imposed on women by men, essentially. So I think you need to unpack, like, do I really want to train glutes all the time? Like, is that what I really want for myself?
Yeah. And most women don't.
And most women don't.
That's why they find your content very valuable, because you say what they actually feel, not what everyone says.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for women and men, we shouldn't follow social norms, and we should do what we want to do and whatever it requires.
It's exactly the same, but that's another video, so I'm not going to derail on why men should also train like women. So doing a lot of glute focused workouts, spending a lot of time on cardio and stretching. They're not bad things. They're not bad things. I was the girl that only went to the gym to do cardio and stretching. But I think these are often seen by women as safe options because they feel intimidated by the free weights area. They feel that they don't have an identity there. They feel like they don't belong there. And many women, when they overcome that barrier, they feel a great sense of liberation and empowerment, that they're able to incorporate resistance training into their workouts and not just do cardio and stretching.
That's correct. Woman, you have a goal of building confidence, building strength, and you know stretching and cardio is not the way to go there. And as you said, they don't do strength training because it's very intimidating. It's a very gym bro environment. And when you do, they feel so confident because they actually feel that they are getting the result that they want to get. They actually build confidence. And when they walk into a room, they talk with more confidence and their whole personality changes.
Absolutely.
So training like a woman or man is not a thing. It's training for a goal and doing what the goal requires for you to do.
Yeah. And then as a third point, I would probably say doing a lot of body weight exercises is predominantly seen as like training like a woman. So I was actually just watching a video on RP Strength about an influencer was showing how she does glute bridges to grow glutes. And she's got massive glutes, right? So there's obviously no way she grew them on body weight glute bridges. And so women are often sold this story of you can just grow a great physique and strength on body weight squats, body weight glute bridges, etc. And they're not given that encouragement to challenge themselves and actually lift heavy weight.
Why do you think it's recommended too often for women to do these light stuff?
I'll tell you why, because it sells. Because if you are a female fitness influencer and you have a platform, okay, if you want to get the biggest market ever, you want to get the biggest audience ever, sell a workout that doesn't need a gym, that doesn't need equipment, that you can lay on your living room and just do a bunch of glute bridges. I was literally watching Dr. Mike critique that influencer, and she was laying on her bedroom or carpet doing glute bridges, and she has 15 million followers saying this is how you build glutes with body weight glute bridges. 15 million women are believing her. So imagine you are selling a dream. You are selling a zero effort, zero equipment, zero cost dream with a huge promise attached to the end of it. You don't need a gym membership, girls. You just need to lay in your bedroom. You don't need even a pair of dumbbells. So you have the biggest market ever and you're selling the fanciest dream ever. It's all about views, clicks, and sales.
It's just selling a lie.
It's selling a lie.
It's so pleasurable. It's so nice to believe something which has no intimidation and no challenging yourself that is going to give you the result. And that's why you say it's the biggest market.
It's the biggest market. And I literally watched 30 seconds of that video before I started here. It popped up, but you know, he says there's no progressive overload, zero progressive overload, which is the number one thing that you need in order to build muscle. You can't progressively overload the air.
Actually, you regressively underload, because let's say you started body weight exercises and you started to lose weight, so you are lifting
You're
less
actually
weight.
making it easier. It's getting easier. You're aggressively overloaded. We need to talk about that. That's so cool. So yeah, it's all about money, views, and clicks, and telling people that this dream body I have is attainable by doing absolutely not very much. So that is why the training like a woman, how it's wrapped up, it's very deceitful and very dishonest to women, and is mis-selling women these workouts and goals.
Yeah, that's correct.
So Hagtan, we agree that women are missold how this concept of how they should train. And that's why I ruthlessly take concepts from how men train and apply that to the women I coach. But does gender affect training at all? Is it fair to say, right, ladies, just do what men do and you'll be fine? Or are there exceptions?
I think in the bigger picture, no. The fundamentals, lift heavy, do it consistently, eat healthy. The fundamentals are simple and they are same for both sexes.
Yeah.
But when you go to more details, it differentiates a little bit.
Of course.
For you, you bench more than me.
Yeah, of course. So I can handle like bench pressing 4 times a week and I can recover just fine. I can do 5, 6. I could bench every day.
Actually,
and I'd be happy as anything.
Actually, women are superior on recovering than men.
From volume.
Yeah, when I bench, I can bench maximum twice a week because my muscles can't recover. But your muscles can recover from 4 times, which is crazy good.
So apparently the research says, and I'm no scientist, so don't cancel me, women can handle more volume, but men can handle more intensity.
That's correct.
Yeah. So guys can push at higher RPE and recover, but women can actually handle more volume. So on a very niche level, there are differences in training. Female and male powerlifters train differently in some ways.
Yeah, and this is like elite competition.
Yeah.
Elite competition level, everything is the same. I used to coach you, and in your training, you used to do the exact same things that I used to do.
Yeah, a lot of upper body stuff, ladies. It was a bit crazy, but I could do pull-ups. He got me doing pull-ups, so I wasn't doing that bad. And I didn't even practice doing pull-ups. Did you know? I just jumped on the pull-up bar one day and I was like, oh, I can rep pull-ups. So I must have been doing something right without ever having done an assisted or banded pull-up. So
do you think there's anything women should do in the gym different than men?
Should do in the gym different to men? No, I really don't. No, I really don't. I think you should just training is gender neutral. It's gender neutral, guys. Training is gender neutral. So having said that, women and men are very different. And there is the emotional aspect of training for women that you cannot completely ignore. I was looking at some research the other day, which was about menstrual cycles. And apparently there is no sound evidence that your training cycle affects your performance, your strength training performance. But there is the emotional element because women's hormones do affect how they feel, their energy levels, their happiness levels, their motivation levels. And that is a thing and that is real. So how do we navigate that? Do we say, right, ladies, don't train on week 3, push harder on week 1? What are your thoughts?
So this is something that I cannot understand. So
at least you admit that. Good for you.
I admit sometimes women need more emotional support than the other to motivate and I think to get to the gym. And I don't know how to navigate that. That's why I mostly coach men when I was a coach. But you experiences, how do you know how much support you need to give to women without making the world pain?
I look at it. So we have, say, a 4-week cycle. I look at it holistically. I look at the month as a whole. And if I have a female who says, I'm due on, I'm weak, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the gym, I'll be like, good for you, don't go. Because I know she's trained like crazy, week 1, week 2. I know that she'll make up for it afterwards. So in an ideal situation, you wouldn't take days off here and there, but we're all human. And if you're not a competitive lifter, you're not a professional athlete, if you're in agony and you're exhausted, it would be really silly for me to say, well, just get up and train anyway, unless the woman wants to. Women are capable of making their own decisions. If the woman says, I'm not sure, I'll often say, go to the gym. You can do reduced number of sets or lower your expectations of your lift that day. That's my favorite approach. Is go to the gym, but you know it's going to suck. You know that your deadlift is going to feel terrible, but you already have that preconceived, don't expect to hit a PR on your week. You just know the weight is going to feel harder. Some women have issues, for example, that cause issues with bracing, like weaker back or back pain that makes them feel weaker. I definitely do not brace the same when I am on my weaker week, and my lifts throughout will be very much affected. And honestly, a lot of it is back issues with bracing. So I just lower my expectations. I lift the same weight, the same sets, the same reps, but in my head, I know it's not going to be the best week, and it doesn't matter because next week's going to be amazing. I look at it as a month overall. If she's slacking on her strong week, I will come for her. I will say, what's going on here? You had no excuse. But my women never slack. They never do that because I give them so much love. They don't need to slack.
Cool. So you manage expectations in some weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Manage your expectations. Be kind to yourself on those weeks, and just know that you might have a deficit or a gap or something to catch up on when you're feeling great. And I personally do that in my own training all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Never experienced it, but it sounds logical.
If I know my squats are going to be weaker on my weak week, I will know, don't increase the RPE this week. I don't reduce it to what it would normally be, but I just don't increase it. If it was at 7 week 2, I'll keep it at 7. And then I will just know that next week I'll have so much more energy and I'll hit a PR and it'll be great.
Yeah. Overall, every month you get better. It's not week to week getting stronger. Month
for
to
women,
month
definitely
getting
not.
stronger.
I look at it over the month. Otherwise, you'd be screwed if you looked at it week to week. It's just not a reliable way of looking at things for women.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I never thought about it. I never knew it. That's why I don't coach women.
Well, we have our weak weeks. We have our strong weeks. So you might have strong week, strong week, and then slowly look at it as a month overall.
Yeah. And because men don't know this kind of stuff, I think woman needs woman coaches like you who doesn't sugarcoat everything. Women, when they need to be pushed, managing expectation when it requires.
I think women just need us to be encouraged to have a certain mindset. Once they have that confidence and that self-belief, they don't need to be micromanaged over the month. Once women fall in love with strength training, they have that confidence and that love and passion for it. They start to auto-regulate around their own cycles.
I think this is the biggest advantage of having a coach. It's not just a training plan or nutrition plan. It's actually training your mindset and understanding that way of thinking that they get from you.
Absolutely. That's the best thing I can do for my women. Once you change the mindset, it fixes everything.
Yeah. And because they know how to think, even once they stop coaching with you, they will be able to maintain their results and habits because now they have the way of thinking. So it doesn't matter if you call it training like a man or woman. As long as you get closer to your goals and you do the things that you need to do, you are cool.
I actually think gender neutral is the one place, is the one time we can use this terminology with total accuracy when it comes to your training. Man or woman, be strong, push hard, and mindset is everything. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please put a like, whether you liked it or didn't like it. We want your feedback, and leave a comment and let me know. Do you train like a man? Do you train like a woman? Or are you gender neutral just like us? I'll see you in the next podcast.